Today, I'll lead you through a practice for lower back care and tension release. We are going to get the whole body moving, but we're going to focus on creating mobility and stability around the lower back. Let's get started. There are many different reasons why we might have tension or achiness, even pain in the lower back. And this practice might help you, but it's also possible that this practice is not for you. So as we go through the practice, be very mindful if you have any pains or aches in your lower back. And if anything hurts to a point where you don't feel safe, then just stop or let yourself find your own variation, your own modification of the pose and movement. So very much listen to your body as we go through the practice. And then you might go through this practice without any props. However, if you have any achiness in your lower back, props might make things just a bit easier. So today I'm going to use a bolster because I like to use a soft prop when I'm dealing with my lower back, and a block might be quite a nice prop as well. But like I said, if you don't normally use props in your practice, you might also do this practice without props. And that being said, we are going to start in a seat, and I'm suggesting a saddle seat. So sitting on your knees, sitting on your shins. And this is where I'm going to bring a bolster under the pelvis. So you might also use a block to sit on, or you might do this without any props. And if there is a way for you to sit other than using this saddle seat, then feel free to find your own seat. If a cross-legged seat is comfortable, then just go with that. And give yourself a moment to arrive into that first seat. You might have your hands resting on your thighs or maybe resting on your lap. Where do you feel you could soften your shoulders as well? Soften your upper back. Maybe give yourself a moment to rock the pelvis back and forth or from side to side. Just finding that place where you could find some ease in your lower back. Also finding that neutral spine. Pelvis under your back and allowing those natural curves in your spine. And once you have found that place for your pelvis, for your back, invite your awareness to your breath, and you could give yourself a few slightly slower, slightly longer breaths in and out. You can let your breaths slide down towards the lower back. Not forcing it, but just having that awareness of your breaths. Maybe sinking a bit deeper into your body. Allowing your breaths to move a bit deeper into your body. There is a deep connection between our breath and back health as well. So as we go through the practice, just focus on ease of breathing. Just allowing that space and allowing freedom for your breaths to move in and out. Let's take another breath here, in and out. And then we'll add some movement to our arms, shoulders, upper back. So you can bring your arms down next to your sides. And with your next in-breath, lengthen arms up towards the ceiling. Just to a place where you feel safe in your back. And as you exhale, open your arms sideways down. You could bend the elbows, maybe open the chest, and let your arms come all the way back down. Same again with your in-breath, lengthen arms up. With your out-breath, open arms sideways down. Just a gentle movement. 2 more rounds, follow the pace of your own breath. In-breath lengthens arms up. And then exhalation brings the arms sideways down. 1 more round. Then from the seat, we're going to walk hands forward onto all fours. If you had a prop under your pelvis, you can still leave it there because we can use it in this movement as well. And we'll start to rock forward and back, kind of shifting the weight from hands to knees. And as you lean forward, focus on some gentle core support. So you might even go all the way into a small plank on the knees. But finding some gentle core engagement. So we don't let the lower back collapse. And as you lean back, you can start to play with moving towards a child's pose and just see how that feels in the lower back. Continue breathing here. Notice where along that movement you breathe in, where you breathe out. How can your breathing support those movements? We'll do a couple more rounds, rocking back and forth. And then next time when you lean your pelvis back, we'll go all the way down into a child's pose. And you might use a prop under the pelvis. Now, see where your legs need to be. Is it better to have your legs closer together? Is it better to open the knees further out to the sides? How would it feel to lean head all the way down onto the mat? Would it be better to bring your hands under the head so there's some extra support under your head for the neck as well? Then focus on your breaths. If child's pose is not working for you right now, you might come back onto all fours or maybe onto elbows and knees and take a moment there. Or you might enjoy more lying down on the belly. Finding that edge where you feel it's safe to breathe. And focus on breathing all the way down towards the lower back, as if you're breathing down towards the pelvic floor, towards the hips as well, towards the lower belly. Take a couple more breaths in and out here. You might
Breathe out through the mouth and let out a sigh. And then after those couple of breaths, we'll slowly start to find our way back onto all fours. And again, if you have a prop there, you can still leave it there. And we're going to go into downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under, and then with your next breath, lift your pelvis up and find your downward dog. And we're looking for length through the spine. It might be nice to keep knees bent, so knees could be quite deeply bent. And just focus on that axial extension, that lengthening along the spine, like somebody's gently pulling your pelvis away from the head, away from the hands. You might even feel gaining some length along the spine. And if it's better to move, you might walk from one foot to the other. If it feels good to move the pelvis, you might let your pelvis rock from side to side as you move from one foot to the other. Really let yourself notice how you feel, where you feel this pose, and breathe towards those sensations. Send your breaths where you now feel this downward dog most. Take a couple more breaths in and out. If it feels okay, you can let your heavy head drop down, soften the neck. And then from this downward dog, we'll leave our feet where they are, roughly where they are, bending the knees. Start to walk your hands towards the feet so that we could end up in a full forward bend, shifting weight onto the heels as well. And now if you have a prop there, you might use the prop under your hands, especially if leaning into a full forward bend doesn't feel good. You might lean elbows onto a bolster or a block as well. If you're not using any props, you're more than welcome to bring elbows onto your thighs. So that can help us stay a bit higher up, because that full forward bend might feel quite intense in the back. So find your edge. And you can always come back down. Child's pose would always be an option. Notice if leaning more onto heels or more towards your toes changes the pose for you. And take a couple more breaths here and breathing to those places that we feel most in this pose. Is it better to straighten or bend the knees? And then from this forward bend, we're going to move into a squat. So now you might walk your feet wider apart, maybe bring hands on a prop or onto the mat. You can let your toes turn out to the sides and then start bending your knees, just slowly bringing your pelvis down, and you can keep your feet mobile so that you find a squat that feels okay. Heels don't have to be on the mat. And if you have a bolster there or blocks, you might use that as a support under the hands. So maybe bringing elbows to the inside of the knees or thighs, just supporting that rotation in the legs so that knees don't collapse inside. Just having some support under the hands might ease the back if bringing yourself into an upright squat is not an option. Of course, if it feels better to lift yourself upright, go for it. But you might also lean hands onto some support, and that support might be the floor. If it feels okay to bring hands or just fingertips down on the mat, that would be an equally good option. And how would it feel here to just let the pelvis become heavy? Let the pelvis sink down towards the ground, creating space around the lower back, around the hips. Take a couple more breaths in and out, trying to keep shoulders, trying to keep neck as soft as possible. And then bring some support back onto your hands, whether it's hands on props or hands, fingertips on the mat. We're going to go back into that forward bend. So take a slightly bigger breath in and lift your pelvis up, leaning onto your hands. And now you might walk your feet just a bit wider apart. And we are going to keep hands either on that support or on the mat. And now a couple of breaths here. As you exhale, draw in through the belly, building that core support again. Inhale, exhale, draw in through the belly. And then with your next exhalation, lift your back halfway up into a flat back. Now find that engagement through the backs of the legs, through the buttocks, into your back. Take one more breath here. Really focus on that exhalation, drawing in that support, supporting through the arms as well. Back side of the legs, buttocks engaged. Next in breath, come back into that squat. Exhale there. We prepare to come up to standing, and I'll suggest we use the exhalation to push down through the heels. Lift yourself all the way up to standing. And then you could move your feet. You could move the shoulders. And let's do a few breaths moving the arms here, just like we did in that seat. So feet under the pelvis, mountain pose. Breathe in, lengthen arms up. As you exhale, open arms sideways down. Same again. With your in-breath, arms lengthen up. With the out-breath, arms come sideways down. Let's do one more round. Inhaling up. Exhale, arms come sideways down. Then we're going to come stand on the left leg. So from that mountain pose, shift your weight onto your left foot, left leg, and exhale, lift your right knee up towards the belly, towards the chest. Here, focusing first on that standing leg, grounding down through the heel, Feel it, feel the back line of your leg all the way to that left buttock, all the way towards that lower back. And you can keep on supporting your right knee with your hands. Or another option would be to release the hands and focus on strengthening through the hip flexors as well on that right side. You can imagine the crown of the head is lifting up towards the ceiling, and still keep focusing on that standing leg, supporting through the buttocks, so keeping that hip extended. Take a couple more breaths in and out, keeping that core engagement, that lifting in through the belly as well. And the next exhalation, release that right foot down. Come back onto 2 feet and just take a couple of breaths in and out. You might move your feet, pedal the feet. And then we'll do same standing on the right foot. So from 2 feet, now shift the weight onto your right foot. Exhale with that core support, lift the left knee up. And we'll start by supporting the knee with hands, and first focus on that standing leg. Again, heel pressing down, and from the heel, connecting that support all the way to your right leg, sit bones to the buttock, to the lower back. Trying to keep hips roughly at the same level. And again, you can keep supporting the left leg with your hands, or release the hands and focus on strengthening through that left side hip flexors as well. Trying not to hike the left hip up, but again, keeping the hips roughly at the same level. Breathing towards the ribs so we can keep that subtle drawing, lifting in through the belly. Take another breath here in. And then as you exhale, release that left foot down. And again, you can just take a couple of breaths in and out, move the feet or roll the shoulders. And then we're going to go into a balancing chair pose. And if you have a block there, this is very optional. You could now bring a block between your legs, between the inner thighs, so that you're gently hugging that block between the legs. That might help us with that deeper core engagement through the inner thighs into the pelvis. And that, of course, helps the lower back stability as well. So with or without the block, we'll lengthen arms either in front of us, or you might bring palms together in front of the chest. You decide. From here, as you exhale, lift your heels off the mat. And again, you can choose to stay here, or with the next exhalation, you can start to bend the knees, keeping heels off the mat. If you have a block there, hug the block between the inner thighs, and we really don't need to go deep down. Just finding that subtle bend in the knees. Imagine your inner ankles, inner heels, they're kind of drawing towards the center line as well, so we're not dropping the weight to the outer foot. Take another breath in and out. Whoops. And it's okay to fall off the balance. Find your way back in. And then keeping heels off the mat, just slowly start extending the legs, coming back up. And then release the heels down. Release the arms down.
And you can roll the shoulders. If you have a block there, just move that block aside. And let's do those arm movements one more time together with the breath. As you breathe in, lengthen arms up. And exhale, open arms sideways down. With your in-breath, lengthening arms up. You can let your upper spine start moving more. Exhaling, arms come sideways down. Let's do 2 more rounds. Following your breath. And you decide how big the movement is. What feels good in your back now. And then we'll slowly release that movement. Take 1 more breath in and out here. And then we're going to find our way onto all fours. Now, I'll invite you to find your own way down. What feels good for your back, what feels safe. Could be through a squat. You might go through a forward bend. If you still have some props there, just push them aside. And then bring yourself onto hands and knees. We're going to go through some cat-cow movements. Toes could be tucked under, or you could release the toes. And then with your next exhalation, round your spine into a cat pose. And then with your next in-breath, open the chest. Find that cow pose. But now, as we go through this movement, you can just continue with your own breath, but also really mindfully explore the sensations that you're feeling and where along the spine you feel that you need to move, where it's safe to move. And it could be a very small movement. And suggestions for breathing. So exhaling into cat, inhaling into cow. That's just my suggestion. You can change it. You might add extra breaths along the way. Moving slowly, taking your time. Maybe pausing in the cat, maybe pausing in the cow. And if you feel that it is the lower back that needs more movement now, then really focus on moving through the lower spine, gently, slowly. Or it could be that you feel it's better focus on the upper back and just let the lower back follow. So you might guide the movements through your upper spine. See how much your neck, your head want to follow those movements as well. Let's do maybe 1 or 2 more rounds. Following your breath. If you're doing really slow rounds, then 1 would be plenty. If you're moving faster, feel free to do 2 more. And then slowly bring yourself back to center, to neutral spine. And from here, we're going to walk the knees to the left side of the mat and come sitting on the right hip. And then we'll come lie down on the right side. You could bring a hand under the head and then bring your knees on top of each other and
find a neutral spine. So not bringing knees all the way to the chest, but maybe leaving them just a bit lower down, so you can find that neutral spine where you're not rounding or arching the back too much. And from here, we're going to go into the clams, creating support in the glutes and supporting the lower back that way. And now our intention is to keep the pelvis where it is, keep the two pelvic halves on top of each other, so also not letting the right side collapse. You might just slightly think about lifting the right side off the mat so you find the pelvic halves on top of each other. Core engaged, keeping pelvis where it is. As you inhale, lift your left knee slightly off the right knee without rotating your pelvis, so without letting the top buttock go further back. Just lifting the knee where it goes without tilting the pelvis. And then exhale, lower that left knee down. Same again. Inhale, lift the left knee just slightly up. Really focus on engaging through that left glute, those deep rotators as well. And exhale, lower down. 3 more times on this side. And you can do this as a very small movement. Or if you start to feel that this is causing more pain, just let go of the movement. Find a resting pose. Do 1 more round. Just a very slow, mindful activation through that left glute. And then release. Now keeping your legs together, core engaged, roll onto your back. You can push down with that right arm. You might need to wiggle your way back to the mat. And we'll do same on the other side. So now we'll bring both legs to the left side. Keep your knees, your legs together if that helps. To keep your lower back safe, you can bring left hand, left arm under your head. And again, bringing those pelvic halves on top of each other so we're not collapsed on the left side. Keeping or finding that neutral spine. And then right hand could be there, helping you to feel what's happening in the pelvis. When you're ready, inhale, lift the right knee slightly off the left. Really focus on engaging through the right glutes, those deep rotators. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting, but not rotating through the pelvis. Exhaling down. 3 more rounds. Again, it could be a very small movement. Focusing on that right glute. 2 more times with your own breath. And that last round. And then release. And again, keeping legs together, bring yourself onto your back. And then we're going to go into the bridge pose. And if you have a block there, now you could use a block between the legs in the same way as you might have used it in that chair pose. Kind of gently hugging the block, that support between the legs to fire the inner thighs a bit more.
And arms can be down by your sides. And we're going to just make a small lift. We're not trying to go into a full high bridge. Just find your edge. And as you exhale, press down through the feet, especially through your heels, elevating the pelvis, the back slightly off the mat. Inhale, trying to stay in that bridge. And then exhale, lower down. So you might even lift your toes, the fronts of the feet off the mat, and just press down through the heels if that feels better. Same again, as you exhale, press down through the feet or just through the heels to elevate your pelvis, your back off the mat. Inhale in your bridge and exhale, lower down. Again, very slow, mindful, controlled movement. We'll do 2 more rounds with your exhalation, pressing down again, feeling that connection from heels through the back side of the legs to the pelvis, inner thighs engage. So inner thighs balancing that glute activation. Exhaling down. One last time. As you breathe out, press down through the feet, through the heels, lifting into one more bridge. And exhaling down. And now if you have a block there, you can put that block aside and then either hug the knees in towards the chest, towards the belly. You might rock from side to side. Or if you have a bolster, some kind of a pillow cushion there, you could bring that bolster on top of your body, so on top of your belly, your chest, your pelvis, and then hug that prop with your arms, with your legs, the koala pose. This might be more relieving for some people's backs, the lower back, also the upper back, hugging something, creating some space. If you are hugging your support and you have maybe your ankles, your shins crossed, you might cross them the other way. You might do the same with your arms. And just take another few breaths in and out. You might keep rocking from side to side, kind of massaging your lower back on the mat if that feels better for you. Keep on listening to your body, what feels releasing, what feels relieving, any tensions in your body. Let that guide your practice. And if hugging the knees, if the koala pose feel like a nice place to be right now, you can stay there. Or we might move into a resting pose, and that could be lying down on the back, Shavasana pose. If you have a bolster there, you might use it under the legs, under knees, and that might help your lower back. Or if it's better for you to come lie down on one side or lie down on your belly, those would be great resting poses as well. Or maybe there's a whole different pose that will help you rest just for a moment at the end of the practice. Let yourself find any pose, any
shape of your choice where you feel that your body could take a moment, find ease at the end of the practice. And if your neck feels tense, you might rock your head from side to side. Invite your full awareness, attention back to your breath. Allow each exhalation soften effort, soften tension in your back. And let your breaths find those places, those areas that need that attention and care the most in this moment. And for a moment, let your mind rest in observing the breath. Give yourself another few breaths in your resting pose and just check in how you're feeling now as we are slowly arriving towards the end of the practice. And if you feel that it would be good to stay longer in this resting pose, let yourself stay here. Take your time. Or if you feel that it would be a good time to start closing the practice, start to bring some gentle movement back to your fingers, your toes. You can move your hands, your feet, your wrists, your ankles. You could even lengthen arms overhead along the floor and just gently stretch your whole body long. Take one slower, longer breath in and out. And then, when you feel ready, slowly roll down onto one side. Could be the left or the right side. Just slowly taking care of your back as you move. And bring yourself up into a seat, into your own final seat. Any shape, any pose that feels safe now. That could be a different pose than what you had in the beginning. Give yourself a few more breaths here.
Just slowly closing the practice. And if it's a part of your practice, you can bring your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, most importantly, thank yourself for taking some time to move, to breathe, and to look after yourself. And I thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. Thank you.